live once again. Lots of stuff to talk about with this Rise of Skywalker fiasco. Lots of news coming out. I mean, it's so much stuff. I put up a 20-minute video today, and I probably could have kept going for another hour or 2 hours. I don't ever make 20-minute videos. So, and I'm joined here. We were just talking about you, Road Rants and El Presidente, Abu Nas.
What's
Gentlemen,
up?
And it's so good to be back. Have I been on your channel? I think I've been on your channel before, right?
you were on my channel. No, I don't think you have. I was on your channel. Not long
right.
ago.
Oh no, I was supposed to go on your channel, but unfortunately,
Yeah, yesterday.
yeah, I was supposed to go on your channel, but I couldn't make it. But I dragged you on my channel to do the appreciation
prequels.
of the prequels.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we did Phantom Menace. I wanted to get you back for Attack of the Clones and especially Revenge of the Sith, but we couldn't make it happen, man.
Yeah.
But we did. We still knocked it out of the park. So I'm just happy to finally be on your channel right now, ready to blaze it up.
Yep. Rhodes, what you up to, man? I'm still watching this Patriots game at the end. I got it on my tablet right here.
Hey, I had to leave the game behind when I got that juicy nugget.
I know,
in my
man.
ear.
I know you.
I was like, "Whoa, what?"
Yeah. I texted you, and you weren't sure if you want to come. We're gonna come on because you wanted to relax and stuff. But you said, you know what? I probably should because when something happens, you got to be. Ooh, I'm sorry. That was a bit playing the game right there.
When I left, it was tied. I think.
No, it's 24-17 Patriots.
Oh, okay.
And I
Well, it
think
was like
it's
10-10 or something. I
It's
think.
over now. Josh Allen, he just threw something in the end zone. It was incomplete. So Patriots ball, and Bills only have one timeout, 1 minute remaining. So the game's over.
Okay.
Anyway, back to the fall of Soy Walker. And make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you don't mind, we have Asian Tritz Rabbit in here. Uncompetitive says, hi there. I heard the rumor. We're going to get into that. Also, Lori Roberts, good evening. We're going to kind of wait till more people get in here. Let's try to get about 20 people in here before we really dive into the juices of this. Abu Nas, did you already put up your video on the review of the movie?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes, I did. Yeah, last night. It was a live stream. I did. I was
okay.
really trying to debate whether I was gonna make a regular video, but I love the engagement, of the subscribers and everybody that was on YouTube that came out. So we had literally a party, just burning this nonsense down. Rose Rants, what's going on, brother? I ain't even get to say hi to you, bro. Good to see you.
What's up, sir? How are you?
I'm doing all right, brother. You see that smile on my face? That's the smile of me just happy that Disney is just getting this shit burnt down to the ground.
They're about to get a little more burnt too because I just put out a video on their ass. This shit's getting juicy.
I tell you, man, we got material for days behind this. And I said to myself, man, I couldn't. And I'm trying to use my words carefully. I wish that we had this knowledge beforehand, knowing how this is going to play out. Otherwise, I would have hammed it up even more. But just the fact that everything that we said, as a collective, as a community, has finally, come to pass. We was right. We was right all along about everything. Everything.
Yeah, we're 14 people watching. Anybody sends super chat in, we'll get your channel linked in the chat. We're almost at the magic number of 20, and then we're going to dive deep into this new information. Rhodes gave me a heads up. I looked at it. Mecha Random 42 has already put up a video on it. She's all over it. And I'm going to do a screen share of the information. But with this, the love of George Lucas Star Wars, I put the real Chosen One as a backdrop on this. Kind of hard to see because it's three of us right there. There's only one Chosen One, and there's no debate about it. No debate about it. It's Anakin, even though Disney tried to rewrite Star Wars history, not happening. David Provost in the house. Rasmus is in the house also. It's just so, oh man. What was your thoughts on the video? I didn't get to see your live stream, Abu Nas. So,
oh my gosh, where do I begin? I mean, let's just all right. Because there was so much horrible shit to unpack, but I will come out the gate, and I did say this in my live stream that the ILM budget was off the charts. They made this thing what I said they was going to make it. They was going to make it into a spectacle, a feast for your eyes, that they'll bombard you with every image, every note, everything that can just not let your eyes or your brain start thinking about how incoherent and how convoluted the story was. So
the more it was all over the place in the beginning.
Right. The more you get into the visuals, the more, because they don't want you to stop and think. But that's at a certain point, you are going to be forced to stop and think, especially if you're longtime fans like us. You know, if you're 18 to 25, you're pretty much going to enjoy the ride, love Rey, Kylo and everybody else, in it, because that's who you're stuck with. For the rest of us generation Z's or whatever, or millennials, or how they like to insult me, as a boomer, well, whatever. We was here since the beginning, before you kids was even thought of, in any way, shape, or form. We helped build this franchise. We helped made Lucas a billionaire. But the difference between Lucas and some of these other nut huggers over here is that he gave back to us. He realized that the fans was what helped him build this empire. And he gave back in so many ways that he allowed us to play in his sandbox freely.
Yep.
Disney, not so much.
Yeah. And Lucas encouraged fans to go out and make their own fan films.
And
Disney, they want to put restrictions on you.
Mm-hmm.
So
poor Star Wars theory.
Yeah. David Prevost, well, wait, what's going on? Well, if you look at the title of this live stream, it says George Lucas never wanted Palpatine to return, real villain of the Rise of Skywalker revealed, and more. So let's kind of dive into this. Rhodes, thanks for tipping me off on this here. Oh, our boy Geo Brits is here. He saw the movie late. He says, I love the movie. Didn't like that Anakin isn't in the movie, but he did say bring balance like I once did, which still makes him the chosen one, but for a different generation. It's better than Force Awakens and Last Jedi. I respect your opinion, but I completely disagree. Completely disagree. It bothered me that I didn't like that line. Bring balance to the Force. No, Anakin is supposed to bring balance to the Force because he's the chosen one. But I'm glad you enjoyed the movie. You're one of the few. Let's jump into this. I'm gonna do a screen share here of this thing on Reddit, and it makes complete sense. Bam. Can everybody see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I probably can't read it, but that's fine. I'll read it. It says here, after Colin had left the project, talking about Colin Trevorrow, Rian Johnson was immediately Lucasfilm's top choice to take over. Wow. However, Iger and Horn weren't impressed with The Last Jedi and thought it was a step down from The Force Awakens. This prompted Iger to personally offer Abrams the gig. JJ was not a fan of The Last Jedi. Actually, that's putting it gently. He absolutely loathed The Last Jedi and had some serious beef with Rian Johnson. He only came back if he could have complete creative control and wouldn't have to compromise with Kennedy or the Lucasfilm Story Group. JJ's first move was to consult with George Lucas on the story for Episode 9. They came up with a story that had strong connections to the Clone Wars TV show, which featured the Dagger of Mortis and Matt Smith as the son of Mortis, which would have been the film's antagonist, aka the villain, not Palpatine. The story also used many elements from George Lucas's unused sequel trilogy treatments. Disney really wanted this movie to be another Force Awakens in the sense that it will unite all fans and be at least initially universally loved. However, after Solo's flop at the box office, Last Jedi Backlash, and a decline in Star Wars merch, it was paramount for Disney that Episode 9 be a success with the fans. They did not want another Last Jedi on their hands. The film's direction changed radically during around midway of principal photography. JJ told the Disney executives that the film wouldn't satisfy and unite all fans. This is where the initial script was either completely abandoned or bastardized. Palpatine was always to have a presence in the movie, but not alive or as the main villain. The main villain was to be the son of Mortis. Disney feared that general audiences would be alienated as they wouldn't know who Son of Mortis was, which would make the film harder to market and led to the choice of replacing the son of Palpatine, and Matt Smith was completely removed from the film. Disney ordered extensive reshoots that went on throughout the year, leading up to early October. J.J. Abrams was not happy with many of the changes that Disney made to The Rise of Skywalker. I don't know the specifics, but let's just say he isn't at all pleased with the final product. Essentially, the majority of the movie was reshot and reconfigured this year, at the same time leaving a ton of important scenes on the cutting room floor. I don't have any other new details in the making of The Rise of Skywalker other than that, but I'm hoping that this post gets people with better sources to give out more details. Okay, I just ran out of a lot of things right there with that. That is incredible right here. That is a lot to take in right there. I got to refresh real quick.
Rhodes, what do you think?
This is in line with a lot of what I have heard already. I heard last week I did a video that said that Kathleen Kennedy butted her way in over the prospect of general audiences not being satisfied with the product, and that's where a bunch of the reshoots came from. Well, let's look at the timeline. John, me and you on live streams talked about the fact that early on we had heard JJ did what? Went to George first thing.
Yep.
To talk about what do we do about this story now that it's all jacked up. And whatever they came up with, the next thing we hear, Matt Smith has been cast in the movie. Okay.
Yep.
We thought he was a dark side acolyte, blah, 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 blah. We didn't know what his involvement was.
Son of Mortis would have been similar.
Right. But to hardcore fans, Son of Mortis means something.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Clone Wars. That was some of the best stuff, man. He turned Anakin to the dark side in those episodes. You got to see him, and then he got his memory wiped and everything. So,
and just to be honest with you, my StreamYard is acting funny as all get out over here. So it's like going completely black on me and refreshing. So I'm just trying to keep up.
I got you, man. I got you. I feel you. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of clues that point towards this little story coming out being fact. I mean, or at least being pretty accurate.
It seems pretty close, man, because we know Matt Smith was in this movie. Now, they said that Palpatine was going to have a presence. So essentially, I don't know how much of a role he was really going to have in this. But it definitely seems George Lucas did not want Palpatine really in this movie at all, because George Lucas knew the implications of bringing back Palpatine with the way Disney wanted to do with Rey. He knew that. So word is he was hot about Palpatine coming back.
Let's look at two things insane here. Number one, George Lucas contributes to the story, comes up with the villain along with JJ that betrayed George again.
I know, again. And essentially to this, I mean, just based on this, it seems like JJ got betrayed too, based on this story right here. Right now, I'm not giving JJ a pass. I mean, we don't know all the ins and outs of it. He still directed it, but they say in this article here, JJ wasn't happy with the final product.
Yeah. And for anybody that's looking for JJ to probably get mad and quit,
Nah, ain't gonna happen.
he's a professional director. He's not going to do that.
Right.
Midway through a movie, he's not going to quit. He should have, considering the final product, but he's attached to it now, so it is what it is. But I don't know, man. It's a mess. This sounded a lot more interesting anyway, and it leaves the Chosen One intact.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Abu?
No, I was trying to look for that article because some part of me want to like try to break that article down piece by piece.
I typed in what I know about TROS production, and it's the first thing that comes up. It's on Reddit. It was just kind of hard for me to find it on Reddit, so I just typed in the title of the article.
I wanted to see it on the screen myself, just so, because as you was reading it in my head, I was, breaking it down in my head. And like I said, most times when I do that, I'm ready to just scream on this shit.
Right.
Because that whole article alone basically is this live stream. And what you just said towards the end in terms of, bringing George in, and between him and George, because they gave him creative freedom, that pissed Kennedy off. Obviously, she and I think that's always going to be the thing between them. He had creative freedom doing Force Awakens, with him and Lawrence Kasdan. They didn't like the story group. The story group was a bunch of frauds.
Force Awakens, they didn't have creative freedom.
They didn't?
No.
Okay, well, they had it enough, at the very least, from one of the rumors that I've always heard surrounding the making was that Kennedy wanted the story group to be a big part of that mix. JJ wasn't feeling the story group. JJ pretty much said, because these people didn't have no knowledge of Star Wars, and their background doesn't even show it. Especially Carrie Hart, the one that was supposed to lead the story group, she had absolutely nothing. JJ didn't want those guys there, and he pushed back on it. Probably went to Iger, and Iger said, "Well, look, between you and Lawrence Kasdan, do your thing." He trusted JJ to come up with something. Kennedy probably bitched and moaned about it, but Iger probably said that, no, just let's see what they got. And obviously, you made $2 billion off of three things: Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford. Everything else was just a little bit of icing on the cake.
Yeah. Mark
so
Hamill
now when JJ left, now here comes Rian Johnson. And what you said about Colin Trevorrow, because Colin Trevorrow already saw the bullshit coming in. And he, when Rian Johnson was tapped in to be the director, and he saw his treatments, and they was already filling out certain outlines for all three movies. At least that's how JJ put it. And Colin Trevorrow was with it. As a matter of fact, he was writing his script based off of the ideas and stuff that JJ had, but we still needed to see what Rian Johnson was going to put together. He just totally said, fuck everybody, I'm doing my own thing. And then when they looked at Ryan's script, or at least Colin Trevorrow was like, yo, man, you need to change this, because I already have Leia and Luke doing big things in episode 9.
Yeah.
Didn't change it. They had an argument, more meetings. Then Kennedy's sitting up here like she liked Rian Johnson. And it's like, he's a fucking yes man. You know what? Fuck all of y'all, I'm out. So Colin left, and then this creative different. All of that was bullshit. Colin knew, because he showed Mark Hamill what his initial script was. Him and Daisy Ridley, and they freaking loved it.
They loved it. You're right. They loved it.
The inside workings of Lucasfilm in the background, that's what caused this mess. So she got her yes man. And her yes man, she said, now you going to have the story group work with you and Pablo and Carrie and all that. Yeah, because if anybody that had half a brain in their head, tell with Mark Hamill, Mr. Star Wars himself, the man that inhibited and embodied that character since you was fucking coming out as a teen. If he tells you X, Y, and Z, that Luke Skywalker is not X, Y, and Z, and he's this, and this, You don't supposed to have an ego in your body. You're supposed to listen to Mr. Star Wars and, make your script and change your script accordingly. Nah, he said, I don't want to think about the fans. I want to think about the story.
Hey, and look at the lack of self-awareness Lucasfilm had. Look at the beginning of that leak, and it says they initially called Rian Johnson.
I'm shocked by that.
You assholes! You initially called Rian Johnson? You fuckheads!
You don't call Rian Johnson. I'm just shocked. After Colin had left the project, Rian Johnson was immediately Lucasfilm's top choice to take over. I don't even know how this is possible. Now, granted, this is before The Last Jedi came out, right? If I'm not mistaken. Or was this afterwards?
No, it would have been afterwards.
Yeah. You're right. Oh, you're right. Yeah. Because this was early last year when he was let go.
He was the golden child.
Yeah.
He was the golden child. He couldn't do no wrong. Kennedy loved it. Oh, the producers loved it. Oh, the executives loved it. Yeah, Carrie Hart loved it. Oh, man, yeah. Because it was every progressive SJW pandering woman's march movement wet dream. That was all that shit was. There was not a hint of Star Wars in it. It was every agenda you could think of that they wanted to push their narrative on. That was in that movie. Everybody else was just ornaments. So the whole thing with Luke, how he was a coward and he's sucking on them double D. Come on. All of that. You couldn't have my main man actually teach Rey something. Didn't teach her nothing. And then she fought him and beat him down to the ground. Took his stuff and left. You hear nothing else from Luke Skywalker ever again. Outside of him force Skyping, having a heart attack, and he faded away.
Yeah, they made that movie strictly for the access media. They made it strictly for the access media. Now, this mess right here, this movie really wasn't made for the access media. It was made to, one, retcon The Last Jedi, two, it was to still push Kathleen Kennedy's agenda to have Rey replace Anakin, which is going to piss off Star Wars fans. And they wanted to make a movie geared towards normies. To normies, this is a solid movie to them. People that aren't into the lore, people that, they see Episode 9 Star Wars that really haven't watched any of the other stuff. Like, I'm bored on a Saturday night. Let's go check this out.
Right.
Oh, Rey defeats this Palpatine guy. All right, that's cool. I
don't even know the history of how.
I have no idea who those. I have no idea who these voices are she's hearing. But oh well, sounds good to me. Yeah.
I said on my live stream last night. I said for all of us that's been around. I said by the time that the voices was telling her, you're the hope, you're the this, that, and then she started to get up, and then she grabbed the lightsaber, and then the other lightsaber, then Palpatine with the Force lightning, and I said to myself in my head, and I said this in my live stream, I said, what does this remind you of for all of us that grew up in the 80s? You know what I'm saying? The whole Transformer thing. You got the touch. You got the power. Yeah! And then she pushed that thing in that Palpatine to zip. I looked at this shit. I was like, damn, why don't you just go the Transformer route? Have them duke it out and then go. I said, you know what? I'm done. Yeah.
David Prevost, man, this right here really, really bothered me. Leia, Luke, Rey, and Ben all died from overexerting the Force. How depressing. I don't know why J.J. Abrams brought that in. I mean, all of them died. Apparently, you can really, really die now for sure, guaranteed. That's just not a Rian Johnson thing.
No.
If you use the Force, be careful. It is deadly.
No.
That is ridiculous.
That stuff that they put in there, that's just, like I said, all of that is smoke and mirrors and bullshit. That's just to appease the new kids.
Do we know it's a JJ thing?
It could be a studio executive thing. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I mean, we don't know anymore. We don't know.
I mean, you never saw anyone die using the Force.
Never.
Nothing. And Rey was on full God mode. Full God.
I know.
She was the all Madden team in this movie. I mean, she was taking down a whole ship and barely broke a sweat.
Barely broke a sweat, and then use Force lightning,
Yeah.
Sith lightning.
Yeah.
Sith lightning. That is a training that is extremely hard to master.
Yes.
And you had to have extensive training. This bitch had no training whatsoever
And she
in the
just did
past two films. Two films.
And we got no explanation as to why she can do anything. None.
Especially the Force healing technique. That's another selective and special type of training that you have to really be attuned for that. You know what I'm saying? Certain species is more more attuned to knowing how to master the Force healing technique than others. You know, and most times they're not humanoids. So, Rey, just put your hands on, and you're right as rain. So when the ending came and, you know, and Ben Swallow died, and she boo-hooing and crying, it's like, bitch, stop crying. Just put your healing hands on them and then bring them back to life. It's simple. They don't do that. It doesn't.
They tried to please Reylos, another thing.
Oh, they gave the Reylos what they want. They had tongues in their mouth, and you know they loving each other, and then they kissing and they smiling and they doing it back again. They was kissing and tongue. They was doing their thing for God knows how long. That shit wasn't like
it felt like a long time.
A long fucking time. Yeah, they wanted to give the Reylos they moment in the sun, and you know they eating that shit up. That's why they're gonna go back and forth, try to see it again, make certain that they got the camera angles that they want, because you know they're gonna meme it. They're gonna make videos about love videos. Obviously, they're gonna put love songs about the whole thing with them. And okay, that's fine. But what about the rest of us? You know, don't we get some love?
Here's the thing, man. This is a huge mistake. They made this movie to be geared towards normies, and the only reason they really bought Lucasfilm really wasn't really for the movies. It was for the merch. They wanted to sell Star Wars stuff. Guess what, Lucasfilm? Normies do not buy merchandise. They don't. Hardcore Star Wars fans buy merch. Rhodes has a bunch of stuff. How much Disney Star Wars stuff have you bought? Not much, huh?
Very, very
well, post Force Awakens.
Post Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Two things from The Mandalorian.
That's recent because The Mandalorian is good.
The only thing that I bought post the Disney trilogy was a Finn Funko Pop. But that was before the movie came out, because when I saw the trailer and I saw Finn with the lightsaber, I was like, there we go. We got our brand new Mace Windu. That's what I like to see, baby. No, I can't wait to see it.
Yep.
Wait a minute. He's a stormtrooper? Cowardly. He ran away.
Yep. And we're gonna address something with Finn here too in just a minute too.
And I went with this.
was going to give you your lightsaber Finn and Ryan Johnson.
Right, but you know what's so funny? I went with it only because I said, all right, he ran away. He's a coward because he's trying to, chase this chick and so they can run off with each other. All right. Well, maybe at the end of the movie he'll become, he'll get his bravery back, and then he'll fight for the resistance, and then they'll make him into an officer or something in the next movie. Maybe the next movie he'll really Nothing happened. No. I tossed that Funko Pop, and I made a video about it too. That was around with Captain Marvel. It's like I said, if you go on my archives on my channel, I had the Funko Pop. I took that shit out because he was talking mad shit about, yeah, boy, Mike, hey, good luck with the boycott there. We was trying to tell him we wasn't getting on Kelly Marie. We trying to tell you, Finn, they did you dirty, son. They did you dirty. They got you chasing chicks for 2 films. You got one chick sexually assaulting you. You can't bang out the other because she's banging bad boy Kylo. What are you doing? Listen to the fans. He didn't want to listen. So I took that Funko Pop and brought it to the river. I said, you know what's going to happen, right? And it got the Funko Pop going like this. I said, yeah, fuck out of here. And then go on. So that was the only thing that I bought post Disney. Everything else?
Guess what? When I was a kid, I had a bunch of OT stuff as a kid. My mom bought me a lot of stuff. Of course, I was a kid, man. I couldn't buy anything. the prequels came out, especially Phantom Menace, man, I had all kind of stuff. Dressed up as Darth Maul for Halloween. I was 22 years old. Nice. I had a puzzle, Phantom Menace puzzle, putting that together and everything. This sequel trilogy, zero. I haven't bought a damn thing and have no plans to buy. Well, I want to buy Baby Yoda. That's about it.
No, that's for the Mandalorian.
That's for the Mandalorian. But guess what? You're not getting that until March. Yeah.
And you know what? You'll probably forget about it at that point.
Abu Nas. Look
yes,
at
sir.
Yeah.
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu, baby. Shoot. Are you kidding me? This is, and like I said, a lot of it was their master plan for the merch. Because the merch was like, that was like the added bonus. You knew you was going to make the return on your investment on Force Awakens. And y'all did that on the first movie. So everything else was just icing on the cake. More money, more money, more money. I mean, Disney Mandate told JJ, and JJ wanted to have a couple of more months to polish up the script for Force Awakens. Bob Iger said, no, man, these shareholders need their money. We got whores, mistresses, we got mortgages. You know what I'm saying? We got gambling debts. Come on, man. What the fuck are you doing? Let's get this thing out and the end of December so we could get this money. And that's what he had to do. But luckily for him, we all came to the theaters. Mm-hmm. Old and new, normies, oldies, everybody. We all came and flocked to the theater. But most of us, everybody came to the theater for just Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford. We all fell for it, myself included. You know, when we saw Luke Skywalker getting in before the credits roll, and we was a little bit tight, but we were still happy to see our hero because we thought in the next movie he was going to shine.
Oh man, I was like, he's going to wreck shop.
I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet that.
No, because we was like, all right, Snoke. And then he's going to probably fight Luke Skywalker in the next one. Oh, my God. We was having wet dreams. We was like, and when we came to the theater, we was like salivating. We couldn't wait to give him the tickets to The Last Jedi. We had a popcorn. We had the juju beans. I had my wife and the kids there. I told the kids, shut the fuck up. And I told my wife, don't touch me. And I'm sitting up there like, oh, my God. I'm going to see my boy Luke. And then Rey brings him the lightsaber. And we was thinking he was going to train her. So the popular opinion would be, she's gonna go fight Kylo and go through their shit again, and Luke is gonna confront Snoke. Not with Rian Johnson, boy. Killed Snoke halfway, made Luke suck on soy and squeezing titties, and then Rey doing her thing. That was all that was. So now with JJ, damn, we really just shat the pooch on this one. And then just as the article said, he went and saw George. They probably had that reminds me. That's what Doomcock was talking about when they was doing all those test screenings. And they had a cut, the Lucas cut. The Lucas cut. They had the Lucas cut, showed it there, and 85% of the people clapping like seals. This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted to see. Took his shit back to Disney. Disney's like, the fuck is this? What Son of Waters? What are you doing, JJ? We need money. We can't confuse these general audience. And then he's sitting up there in his head like, no, we're trying to get the fans back, man.
The real
did you know
fans.
What Ryan did?
Yeah.
Look. We here to make money, man.
Fans, man. They don't care about no
we
fans.
Here to make money. Let us make this money, JJ. Please, God, can you do this for us? Well, I'm contractually obligated. That's my man. Okay, so take that Lucasfilm bullshit out and put this shit in there with Papa Palpatine. He said he was dead. The fuck you care? Just put him in there and let it work its magic out for itself.
Hey, Abu, before I forget, man, since I got you on, we got 31 people watching. You got to give us a Watto impression. This guy's Watto impression.
Who, me?
Spot on, yeah. I almost forgot, man. His Watto impression.
Oh yeah. Maybe Watto should have been in that in that meeting. It's like Bob. What are we gonna do? I don't know, JJ. I got money on my mind. Hey, Watto, what do you think? Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. Only money. That's exactly how that shit went down. Poor JJ. He was stuck between a rock and a hard place. I'm still not giving him a pass because he had the nerve to thank Ryan Johnson in a fucking tweet before when he first started filming. I made a whole video behind that shit. I was like, y'all guys didn't even learn your lesson. You didn't even learn the lesson behind this madness. How do you think Solo failed?
That's nothing but PC, man. JJ's a company man.
Apparently,
he's a company man.
Apparently, you know what? Maybe I'm so used to being around people with integrity. Maybe I have this thing about me where being around people with integrity that after you get slapped up in the face enough times, you sit up here, look at your blood, and it's like, yo, man, I ain't trying to hear this shit. Right.
I'm about to put you in your mouth.
Right. I'm gonna cap you in your mouth, and I'm gonna put you in your place. That's what he should have did with Ryan Johnson. It's like, did you know that you was going on press circuits with Mark Hamill? And shout out to Mark Hamill, man. All the things he had to endure behind that shit.
Yeah.
When he tried to warn the fans that this wasn't going to go well. And he was right. He was right all along. But y'all didn't want to listen to Mr. Star Wars, you know? And he was still under the NDA. But, you know, as it stood, oh, what did Mark Hamill said at the premiere? He said, well, what do you think about the movie? He said... And he took a deep breath. He took a deep breath, boy. He had to brace himself to even say something about this shit. He's like, because he already knew this shit was trash. He already knew that this was not the Lucas cut. So he said, well, if you go in there and you like it, good for you. And if you don't like it, don't say anything yet. And then he left. He was only there as a Force Ghost for 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes was just some goggly goop and Zen wisdom bullshit. And the stuff that he should have did in Last Jedi, he wound up doing it here. But it should have been Rey that was doing it because she was supposed to be in training. So they did this shit all ass backwards. And I'm sorry, JJ. You kowtowed to the executives. And this is what y'all got.
Let me ask you guys this. I don't know, Abu Nas, do you like Force Awakens?
Nope, not anymore.
Me neither. Rose does though.
No, actually, I did like it. I did like it for what it was. I saw my hero, Harrison Ford, and Chewie back. I saw my Princess Leia. I was upset I didn't get to see Luke, but I followed the story enough to try to enjoy myself for what it was, but I was so happy to see my heroes.
Okay.
But everything was fine. And I saw the problems, you know, Kylo getting beat up by super bitch Rey. All right. Because I'm thinking, Last Jedi explain all that. Right.
Yeah.
But when I read the autobiography of Robert Iger, and he basically confessed at the altar of Lucas, and when they brought the Force Awakens script, they brought his story treatment, said they was going to use it, then they fucking did a 180. Just said, you know what, we're not going to use it. But here's the script of Force Awakens. What do you think? George's like, the fuck is this? Hey, there's no advancement on technology? What is these bland-ass characters? What are you doing? This shit is trash, man. The people, you want to be innovative. You want to show them something new. Bob Iger took the script. Yeah. George, he actually said in his book that he agreed with George Lucas, that the script was trash. Yeah. Oh, shit. This piece of shit right here. Yeah. But Iger said out in his mouth, but you don't understand, my baby, all the pressure I'm under to get this movie. Yep. The shareholders.
Yep.
That was the mandate. So they went along with it. Lucas took a step back, and there it was. So now when I watch The Force Awakens, I know what was behind this shit. Now I don't even like it at all because they was disingenuous with this in the first. This was just a cash grab.
I never liked it from jump because I saw right through their tricks. But
you know what? Then it took me a while. I was caught up in my feelings.
But after watching Last Jedi, and really the question is, after watching this movie, does this movie even make your enjoyment of The Force Awakens even worse? Because for one thing, Snoke is really nobody now. He's a clone. He's nobody. He's a clone. He's irrelevant.
He's a clone. He's literally a clone. Well, at least from Papa Palpatine, he was growing him in the vat. So basically, he took the clone of Snoke, put on some clothes, put him on a Hugh Hefner robe, and said, look, man, I'm chilling in the cut right now because I got some stuff up my ass, and I got to wait for super bitch Mary Sue Ray to come in so I can drain her power so I can get back to business. But look, while you out there, you do what you got to do. You know, let these kids know that you're the man in charge, which you know you're not in charge. But I'm just saying. So what are you gonna call this your group? Because I'm giving you a couple of ships and a couple of dudes. What are you gonna call them? I don't know, Master. Maybe I should call them the Galactic Empire. Nah. I already went down that route. You know what? Why don't you call it the First Order? Yeah, that sounds simple enough. Yeah, that's something that they could go easy on the tongue. Call yourself the First Order. Get out there. Tell them that you're Big Daddy Snoke or can I call myself Supreme Leader? Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Call yourself Supreme Leader or whatever the fuck it is, and then go out there and have a ball. But just know that we're just waiting, and they waited for how many years? 20? 30? How long has the First Order been around? They've been around for a while, you know? And please don't tell me about they Disney books and, Chuck Wendig's Aftermath trilogy and all of that.
Yeah.
That shit was trash.
Don't care about any of that. But Rhodes, but for you, does this movie now affect your enjoyment even of The Force Awakens even less? Because everything is irrelevant now.
I don't think so, because Han is still Han in the movie. I've almost compartmentalized that movie at this point. Where now it's just the Han Solo finale story is what the movie has turned into for me. So the movie can end, and I'll just move on with life afterwards. Right? I don't have to worry about the last two movies.
Yeah, but this movie does so much damage to retcon in episodes 1 through 6.
Yes, that's the thing that really got me.
Really
as far as what's really happening, it's
the overall picture, it retcons everything. Not just Last Jedi. I mean, now you're thinking to yourself, okay, why didn't Anakin just use the Force healing technique on his mother? Why didn't Obi-Wan use the Life Force to save Padme? Why didn't Vader, once he got in the suit, why didn't he just suck the Life Force out of somebody and grow his limbs back?
Right.
It's complete. It's a complete mess.
Somebody was saying, was it Jeremy Johns was saying there was precedence for Force healing in some stories somewhere.
Well, if it's EU, it doesn't count.
Well, I know, but people are begging for them to pull EU stuff out. You know
what?
So I don't.
Actually, I disagree with you, John.
I don't know.
EU do count.
EU
do count. EU do count at this point in time. It does count.
Well, based on
but they was already cherry picking off of the EU anyway.
Yeah, they were.
So if that was the case, why didn't you dipshit knucklehead not?
They did,
why did y'all make the Thrawn trilogy?
Exactly. Exactly. That would have been the perfect segue. Y'all would have had $1 billion. The old fans would have been great, and your normies and your casual fans, your bandwagon jumpers, and like I said, they would have jumped on it. They would have seen new characters. They would have seen Han, Luke, and Leia, and then you would have had a badass villain.
Yeah,
perfect.
But Lucas himself even said that the EU was never canon in his book. He allowed it, to happen, but it wasn't canon.
Right.
But because when you start letting people start making up all this other stuff and you don't really control it, you get stuff like Force healing now, Force transfer, all this other stuff. It devalues the Force.
Actually, in a way, because they was making books and stories and stuff like that, but all of this was approved by Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas
before they even put it out. He had to have seen what they was doing, and as the years progressed, because remember, he let the EU fly because at the time he didn't even do the prequels. So by the time the prequels came out and put into context Anakin's entire arc, so now it was just left up to the sequel trilogy to finish up the book. But even then, he still said that 1 through 6 was the complete saga. That was it. And he kept that for a while until he was just about ready to sell it to Disney. And he was penning something in his head.
Not necessarily. He told Mark Hamill way back in 1983 that, would you be open to coming back probably around 30 years from now, play an Obi-Wan Kenobi type of role?
You're right. I remember that.
He had something in his mind about it.
He had something in his mind, but he never followed through with it.
He never followed through with it.
Yeah, but after all these years, everybody forgot about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
when we went on with our lives, but at least we had the EU and stories there to keep us going, especially after the prequels. Then we had the Clone Wars. We had a whole bunch of stuff. Lucasfilm as a company was fine. Until he decided that he wasn't going to spend another 10 years trying to film something, and he was already in the 70s. So I don't know why he had to sell the company behind it, but that was his decision. But at the very least, he knew that he had the story treatments to have Disney finish his work for him. This was his story.
Yeah.
If anybody can trump the EU in terms of anything, it's only George Lucas, because that's his story.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just doing fan fiction that's approved by Lucas, and he didn't approve none of this shit that they was doing.
Now the thing is with George Lucas's 789, I highly doubt he was going to make a replica of, Mara Jade, Ben Skywalker. I doubt if he was going to do that. He was going to do something a bit different, I believe.
Yeah, and you know what? As much as I love Mara Jade, as much as I love all the EU stories that was there, I did brace myself. I was like, okay, I'm sorry that we're going to lose it, but I knew that this is the maker. This is his story. This is the story. And they even knew when they was making these books that if he decides to come back, this was going to be the results. And everybody was fine with it. But like I said, so many years have passed, nobody was even thinking of it. So I was bracing myself, and I said, if Lucas was going to do it, then he's finishing his story that he wanted to tell. And dare I say it, when he said that he was going to concentrate on the Force and everything, the mythology surrounded it, I was fucking on board. I was on board, because that way we're going to see the rise of the Jedi Knights. You probably get another Sith, type of thing where, the Sith is never really truly gone, and somebody might have saw a holocron of Palpatine or Plagueis or Darth Revan or somebody, and he made up, because, hey, the EU had created Coruscant. Guess what? Lucas used that in the prequels. So it wasn't impossible that Lucas wouldn't take certain things from the EU, but he has the right, because he's the creator.
Yeah, but he
takes whatever the fuck
stuff.
he want to take and put it in his movie. And that will be the official canon. Anything that George Lucas puts together, I would have been on board with it, especially in light of what we got here.
Yeah. One more major topic we need to discuss about the Rise of Skywalker. I already told Rhodes about this, but if you watch the movie, you remember Finn, he was about to tell Rey something before they were sucked into the quicksand. And a lot of people were thinking, including myself, he was going to tell Rey that he loved her. And that's what I was thinking.
Oh my God, that would have been heartbreaking.
No. But check this out.
That's not what he was going to tell her.
He wasn't going to tell her that.
Oh, really?
It is now been confirmed pretty much.
Damn. I was hoping that would have been that. Just so Ray could break his heart one more time for the good time.
No, that was a Q&A, and somebody asked J.J. Abrams what was Finn going to tell Ray, and he didn't answer the question. He answered it offline, and somebody said he was going to tell Ray that he was Force sensitive. And you knew that he was Force sensitive because he sensed Rey dead in the movie, and JJ never addressed it in the movie. That is a major failure of this movie.
There was 4 different times I counted that Finn was blatantly Force sensitive in this movie. You could tell 4 times. I mean, he made it obvious. I mean, JJ did make it obvious.
What was the other 3? Because the one I really noticed was when Rey was dead.
I don't know. And I'd have to be watching the movie, but I was like, "Oh, that's one.
Yeah, an stormtrooper that's Force sensitive, man.
Yeah,
that's interesting, man.
That's interesting.
You know what? Too little, too fucking late.
I got to tell you this, man. Finn is the most wasted character in the new trilogy. He was the most interesting character created, and they failed him.
Yep.
They failed John Boyega. John Boyega is a really good actor. Really, I mean, he was really good as Finn in this movie. They just failed him, man. They failed him on so many levels. He should have been the main character in this sequel trilogy, if you ask me, to tell you the truth. I mean, it's blatantly obvious that he is a much better actor than Daisy Ridley.
Matrix, I'm going to bounce. My Niners are coming on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my Niners
All
are
right.
too. I'm
right,
die
man.
hard too, brother.
Yeah, we're about to wrap this up in about 10 minutes anyway. This is going to be a short stream, so yeah.
But you're right, John. That potential that he had, like I said, when we saw him in that trailer, Force Awakens trailer, holding the lightsaber, we thought we was gonna get something great. In terms of new characters taking up the mantle and just giving us exactly what we came here for, and escapism,
Right.
seeing new heroes take on villains, and it didn't even pan out that way, especially for Finn. Chasing chicks for 2 goddamn movies. Now all of a sudden you want to make him Force sensitive in the last movie of the final chapter of the saga of the Skywalkers. So maybe they were saying that be Force sensitive, that if this movie was gonna break like end game numbers in the box office, and then it's like, well, we're gonna have to do 10, 11, and 12 now, starring Finn the janitor, aka the Sky, the Force.
Yeah.
No, but it's not gonna happen because nobody gives a shit about this movie, and it's failing hard in the box office. Well, at least China said, you know what, sayonara, the san, or well, they Japanese, but it's like goodbye. We don't want this in our country.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is only week 1, and they ain't even won it. So the international market is probably going to suffer behind this. They are.
Yeah,
because
this
if China
thing is
doesn't,
failing in China big time.
yeah, and if China's not
Big
feeling
time.
it, what do you think the Netherlands, England? Oh, England is definitely not fucking with this movie. The UK is not messing with this movie. I'm telling you right now, they are with our American brethren. The North America is going to scream on this till like the cows come home. So ain't nobody going to really make no money here in the States. You're not going to make it in England. China's not rocking with you. So who else do you got? You got the other European countries, maybe France, Spain, the Netherlands, Finland, Argentina. The other whatchamacallit, what countries? South America, the South American countries. Like I said, you can only pour so much pesos or euros or in this thing, to try to get it to some respectable levels. But after this kind of start, and what Twitter and Facebook and all the other Instagram and all the other social medias are saying, this is not a good film on no level. And
No,
just
it's
the fact that
trash.
and then the fact that you retcon George Lucas's entire story. Bad enough you had him help JJ film shit, and you didn't even use it. And now you brought Papa Palpatine back when he told you that this man was dead and he's not supposed to come back, but you brought him back anyway. And you had Mary Sue Ray kill him, basically retcon. And then I know people were saying, well, they didn't do that on purpose because Anakin's voice says that he did it first and now it's your turn. No, you're not understanding. I don't buy that. That the whole implication is that Palpatine is alive symbolizes that Anakin did not fulfill the prophecy. You understand?
Exactly.
That was his whole purpose.
That's the biggest problem with this movie. This movie has a lot of problems, but I'm willing to bet if when Rey and Ben Solo were passed out, and Rey was laying down, and she actually wakes up, and Palpatine is about to strike the final blow. If Anakin's Force Ghost and Luke's Force Ghost showed up, and Anakin was able to take him out after a battle with Palpatine, I think a lot of people would have much less of a problem with this.
You're right.
Because it won't wreck the prophecy of the chosen one.
That's
Anakin
right.
still takes him out. And they had to have conversations about this.
Yes.
They can't be that moronic to not know that Star Wars fans are going to say that retcons episode 6. They have to know this.
It basically a retcon his entire arc. All 6 movies, they retconned it, literally.
Yeah.
Literally. And then they talk about the Clone Wars is coming out in March of 2020. Oh, for the Disney Plus? I don't give a shit about it. It's useless. It's useless. They retconned Anakin's arc.
Yeah.
The whole Clone Wars is nothing.
They did so much damage, they can't even go back to anything with the Skywalkers, even though this is just my theory here.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we know that Rey has a Skywalker name,
Right.
They said they were. They
you know
said
how
they.
bad that is in
It,
and
oh,
of
it's awful.
itself?
It's awful.
She's a Palpatine.
Nobody. I'm talking about people that even like the movie do not like her taking the Skywalker name. Nobody likes that.
She got everything. She took the Millennium Falcon. She got both lightsabers. She has Luke's X-wing. She has all these Force abilities.
She even had BB-8. What was she doing with BB-8? BB-8 should
Exactly.
have been
That was Poe's droid.
Yeah,
she took that shit from him.
I mean, they should have had her with R2 at least. R2 did nothing in this movie.
You saw him in like maybe 2 scenes.
I forgot he was in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't even there long enough.
The only thing he did was restore 3PO's memory.
And the download of the information that Poe and Finn was in the Millennium Falcon getting, and then that was it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was at the beginning. Him putting 3PO's memory back in, and I think that was it. Only those 2 scenes.
Yeah, he didn't really do hardly anything.
Nothing.
Not at all. So I'm almost afraid, man. I mean, have you seen The Mandalorian?
Yeah, I've still got the last episode I gotta watch. No, I saw the Gunslinger. So the Reckoning, I still gotta watch that.
The Reckoning is the best one.
Okay, so I like watch that.
I like The Mandalorian. I really do.
I like The Mandalorian to a certain extent.
You can tell though it's Disney-fied.
Right, and there was there's some episodes that go up and down.
So I'm worried about Clone Wars season 7 becoming Disney-fied because
it is.
Oh, those last three seasons of Clone Wars, all-time great stuff.
It is, especially the last season.
Yeah, I mean little things like in this sequel trilogy, nobody lost an arm, nobody lost a limb. It's like Disney's afraid to do that.
Mm-hmm. George
Lucas
took some
That's
risks.
a part of the movies, man. You got to put that in there. And they canceled Clone Wars because they said it was getting too dark. So what are they going to do with this season? I'm a little worried. Filoni, I trust Filoni, but Filoni has people to answer to, you know?
Yes, he does. He does. And that's sad because Jon Favreau could write his own ticket. Bob Iger's going to step down anyway, but anybody with a half a brain.
Here's the thing. They already had like 3 more seasons of Clone Wars already written out by George Lucas. It was already done.
Yeah.
So are they going to use that or are they going to change it up? I'm willing to bet they're going to change it up.
Probably going to change it up. They already fucked them over
and thing
twice.
Is, we may end up seeing Force healing in this, and it's going to retcon. It's going to mess everything up even more. They cannot show Force healing or Force body stealing or whatever they want to do. Force
the
stealing.
Stuff that Kylo was doing, where he snatches a necklace through the Force and it becomes material.
They cannot do that.
What the hell is that?
They can't do that.
I ain't never heard of nothing like that. And then I said, you know what? This is the way Disney going. And it's just as you said, John. Everything is gonna be for the normies, for the casual fans.
Yeah.
The casual fans don't know the Lord. The casual fans don't think outside the box. Casual fans is not spending their money on the merch. So good luck making money on those people, because after this shit, all the hardcore fans, everybody that built this thing with us, our children and our grandchildren, we're gone. We're gone. So people that's just coming off the street, good luck.
I think this should happen, man. They should let Lucas come back for one movie. This is all they need to do. All they need to do here. Make one movie for about 2 minutes. And this is what's got to happen. You saw Star Wars Rebels, I'm assuming.
Oh, I couldn't stand Rebels.
But they had one thing that could be key to everything. The world between worlds.
Oh, you mean time travel?
It's not necessarily time travel, but they can do this. They can go to the end of Return of the Jedi, pull Luke out, and tell him, hold on, this is going to happen. Do not quit on your nephew Ben Solo, because it's going to mess up all 3 movies. Okay. And then send him back in the story that retcons this whole entire sequel trilogy.
Oh.
Damn. That's all you got to do.
Beautiful.
5 minutes, man. 5 minutes. That's all you need.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's
and
all
somebody else
can
can take the mantle that actually will have some smarts and do this shit right. But you know what, John? I like the way this is going.
And then at that, they got to say, oh, that girl Rey you meet, she's a Palpatine. Don't mess with her.
Don't mess with her.
Yep. That's it.
Palpatine
Because she's going to steal your family name.
Yeah, stole the family name, and then in some weird, because I said this on my live stream, in some weird way, pretty much the Sith won, because a Palpatine has procreated everything in the Skywalker lineage.
Oh God!
And yeah.
Check this out, Dutchio Productions. Why are you guys so negative? Rey won because of the Jedi. She got the help of the Jedi. It was clear she didn't beat him by herself. Please stop. You're wrong.
Wrong.
You are wrong.
Wrong.
She beat Palpatine by herself. She beat Palpatine by herself.
There was no other Jedi.
All the Force Ghosts did, all it did was they took a timeout, in
Gave
a basketball game. Pep talk. That's
pep
it.
Talk. Rah, Rey, you can get up, bitch. Get up.
You know what? It was kind of like a Rocky movie,
Yeah.
Rocky's all beat up in the corner. Mickey has him in the corner.
2, 3.
Come on, Rock. You can do it, Rock. Because Mickey loved you. And that was it. And then Rocky goes out, he gives a round of his life and he wins.
So he said
Mickey didn't fight the fight. Mickey just gave a pep talk.
And so he said Rey won because of the Jedi. What Jedi? She was by herself.
Yeah.
Ben Swallow over there was knocked the fuck out. So
and the way Palpatine went out was ridiculous.
He melted.
He got his Force Lightning flashback
reflected back on him.
Force Lightning doesn't kill you. Well, it killed him this time.
Yeah,
I mean, we seen Luke get electrocuted to death by Palpatine. Didn't die. Anakin got electrocuted by Count Dooku. Didn't die. Clone Wars, you saw Force Lightning too.
Yeah.
So she beat Palpatine by herself, and the guy just incinerated within 3 seconds. It was ridiculous.
Listen,
Thanks for commenting.
Duxio Productions, it seems like he's a Raylo shipper, or a Raylo fan. You seem that, son, if you in here, let me tell you something. I don't know how old you are. I mean, you may be in your 20s. You may be in your baby 30s, like my children's age. Basically, if you was around and and everything was headed by George Lucas, everything had its place, including the story. If this story appealed to you, it appealed to you for one or two reasons. You like the new heroes, and you like how they was propped up by Rian Johnson. Okay? Like I said, if you like that piece of trash nonsense movie, The Last Jedi, God bless you. But it was an affront for people like myself, the people like you insult me and call me boomers. But these were the things that was insulting for people in my age bracket that knew the lore, that knew that the maker and creator George Lucas did not want his movies and his stories to go. So with that being said, and it is a fact that your director of the movie that you like went to George Lucas and said, George, please, Jesus, help us. You're my only hope. And he said, you know what, son? I'm going to throw you a bone. Come here. Let me give you this. Let's do the Mortis, because we got billions of people that watch the Clone Wars. We could hit, wrap it up. It's going to be great. JJ loved it. He loved it. People in the Lucasfilm hierarchy, they was loving it. The upper executives didn't love it because they wanted to make movies for people like you to make you happy, get in your feelings. You like Poe and Finn and all the flashy shit and the special effects and the sound. And John Williams' music, John, it's pristine. But the trick is that in key moments, they harken back to some of his older music from the other movies. Yeah, my big thing understand is to get you theme. In your feelings. The Emperor's theme, man, I love that. It's always going to be love. But all of the new stuff, the movie was so bad, I really kind of forgot about the music. I forgot about the music too until the old stuff kept, because it kept replaying it, knowing that these are the sounds that you grew into your feelings with, especially with Emperor Palpatine, Leia's theme, and do you know how bad it looked for Leia? I'm sitting up there to Mr. Duso Productions. So how the fuck you really thought that Leia died? This is literal. She died basically calling out Kylo's name, Ben. She was calling out to her son, and then she walked away, got in the bed, and died.
That was pretty dumb the way she.
That was the fuck. And you talking about? You don't have to like the film, but some of us really liked it. Can you explain that dumb shit to me? You know what? Don't even answer it. Don't even answer it, because you probably gave some convoluted thing. Well, the Jedi helped her, and stop.
And they say this here: why didn't the Jedi help Anakin, Vader versus Emperor Palpatine?
Shit! If that was the way Disney was going, they should have had everybody in the Jedi Order come after them in Return of the Jedi. Nah, because we had a competent director, because we had a competent creator, we had competent writers at that time. You know, that followed the maker's vision.
Yep.
But we don't got that here. We got a bunch of executive corporate munchers and fuckboys and sucker for love and sucking on that soy. Everybody circle jerking each other, but nobody's not giving people enough brains to say, you know what, we need to actually think about what we're doing, because we want to make sure the general audience likes it, but we cannot under any circumstances isolate the long-term fans that's been telling us that Rian Johnson fucked it up for everybody. And still look what they did.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I hope you like the movie that you got, because damn sure ain't nobody else does, including China, including the UK, and including every other little pockets of the earth that's looking at this shit like, boy, bye. Good luck making that $1 billion, because I'm damn sure telling you right now that shit ain't gonna happen, especially if your brother Abu Nas got anything to say about it. But if you like it, God bless you.
And with that being said, guys, man, I'm going to wrap it up. We're going just over an hour, and the football's going on right now. You want to get to your Niners. I'm going to check out some of the game, too. So, man, it was fun having you on here, man.
It was, John. Thank you so much.
I wish you could have made it last night.
Sorry for me running my mouth the way I do, man. But
I wish you could have came out last night, too, man. It was a lot of fun.
I know. I was doing my own thing on my channel, and I'm trying to entertain the folks and letting them know that, you know what, stick with your brother and stick with the Phantom Menace. Stick with yourself and use some common sense behind this nonsense, man. This is dead in the water. Yeah,
man. I got you, man. And right before I go here, my boy, wait, what happened here? Okay, there we go. All right, my boy Rhodes Rants, $5 super chat. So
you said, bam.
Make sure you guys just go ahead and sub to Rhodes Rants.
Yep.
I got his
brother right there.
I got his channel right here in the chat. I just dropped it in there. Appreciate the $5. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Probably going to be going live next week. I know I'm probably going to do a Christmas Eve live stream. I think that'll be pretty good right there.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know how many people are going to come, because, you know, it's a major night before the major holiday. So they're going to be a lot with the family. Me and Drunk 3PO is going to be planning to do a short Cats review live stream on Christmas Eve, because we know a lot of people ain't gonna be on, so we just gonna be screaming on this movie. You know, I have to fulfill my promise that I made 6 months ago. So I was supposed to do it, like I said, I was supposed to do it yesterday, but because, you know, fucking the Rise of Skywalker was in my head and all this nonsense that was there, I had to put out my own live stream, because I couldn't live with myself if I didn't get all of this out. So madness.
Well, all right, guys. Well, you folks have a good Saturday night. Be safe. And we'll catch you next time.
All right. Peace out.